The engagement photos hit Instagram exactly 6 weeks after Iceland. Caleb and I standing in the snow-green sky swirling. Behind us, my gloved hand on his chest showing off the ring. The caption was simple. Found my forever under the northern lights. Within minutes, my phone started exploding. Friends I hadn't talked to since college texting congratulations. My mom crying on FaceTime. Mia posting a story of us from high school with the caption, "My brother finally got the girl he's been in love with since the first photo I ever showed him." And then the message I had been dreading popped up from Jake. "Hey, saw the photos. You look really happy. Congratulations." No exclamation points, no emojis, just those 8 words. I stared at them for 10 minutes, then showed Caleb. He read it once, shrugged, and said he's allowed to feel whatever he feels, but it changes nothing for us. Then he kissed my forehead and went back to making dinner like the message didn't exist. That was the moment I realized how different real love feels. No games, no drama, just peace. But peace never lasts long when your ex is Jake. 3 days later, Mia called me crying so hard I could barely understand her. She said Jake had shown up at her apartment, drunk at 2 in the morning, screaming that she betrayed him by helping me move on with her own brother. He kept yelling that blood should come before hose and that she picked my side over family. She locked the door and called the cops, but he left before they got there. The next morning, he posted a black square on Instagram with the caption, "When your best friend and your sister stab you in the back at the same time." His mom called me an hour later, apologizing, saying she had no idea he was still this hurt. I told her it was okay, that I wasn't mad anymore, that I just wanted everyone to heal. She started crying harder and said, "You were always too good for him, Lauren. I'm so sorry it took me this long to see it." Caleb flew home for good 2 weeks later. He had served his 8 years, got out with honors, and took a job training private security teams back in our city. The day he landed, he walked straight off the plane in uniform, picked me up, and spun me around the airport like we were in a movie. People clapped. I cried into his shoulder. That night, we signed the lease on a little house 20 minutes outside, downtown, with a backyard big enough for the dog we planned to adopt, and the kids we talked about on late-night calls while he was still overseas. We moved in over Memorial Day weekend. Mia and my sister helped paint the kitchen sage green because I once said it was my dream color. Caleb's army buddies showed up with a truck and moved our couch in 20 minutes flat. Jake's parents sent a housewarming gift, a beautiful wooden cutting board engraved with our names and the date we got engaged. Jake did not sign the card. The first month in the new house was perfect. Caleb woke up every morning and made coffee exactly the way I like it, 1 sugar splash of oat milk. He hung the fairy lights I bought along the back porch without me asking. We grilled on weeknights and watched the sunset from the deck chairs. I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop because 6 years with Jake had taught me that happiness always came with strings. But the strings never came. Then came the 4th of July barbecue. Caleb's parents threw their annual party. Everyone was invited, aunts, uncles, cousins, the whole crew. Jake's parents are technically Caleb's aunt and uncle, so of course they were there. Jake had RSVP'd yes. Caleb asked if I wanted to uninvited him. I said no, we were adults. We could be in the same backyard for 4 hours. The day was beautiful. Kids running through sprinklers, country music on the speakers. I wore a sundress and felt cute for the first time in forever. Caleb couldn't keep his hands off me all afternoon, which made his mom beam every time she walked past. Jake arrived late with some girl I didn't recognize. Blonde, tan, clearly younger. He introduced her as Brittany, his new girlfriend from work. She seemed nice enough. Kept calling him babe in that loud way new couples do. Everything was fine until the fireworks started. We were all sitting on blankets in the grass. Caleb had his arm around me. Jake and Brittany were 3 blankets over. The first boom went off and Brittany squealed and grabbed Jake's arm. Jake looked over at us at the exact same moment. Our eyes met across the dark lawn and I saw it. Pure pain, not anger, not jealousy, just heartbreak. He looked away fast, but I saw his jaw clench. Caleb squeezed my shoulder and whispered, "You okay?" I nodded, but my stomach was in knots. Later, when everyone was cleaning up, Jake cornered me by the dessert table. He smelled like beer and looked like he hadn't slept in days. "Can we talk?" he asked. I glanced around. Caleb was helping his dad stack chairs. I said, "Sure." We walked to the side of the house where the light didn't reach. He shoved his hands in his pockets and stared at the ground. I messed up Lauren. I know that. I was stupid and selfish, and I didn't see what I had until it was right in front of me. Seeing you with him with my own cousin, it's killing me. I still love you. I never stopped. Brittany is great, but she's not you. I'm not asking you to leave him. I know that ship has sailed, but I need you to know I'm sorry and that I'll never forgive myself for letting you go. I let him finish. Then I said the words I had practiced in my head for months. You didn't let me go, Jake. You never had me in the first place. You had a placeholder. I was never yours to lose. I hope Brittany makes you happy. I really do, but I'm not your backup plan anymore. I walked away before he could answer. Caleb was waiting by the porch steps. He didn't ask what Jake said, just took my hand and led me to the car. On the drive home, he reached over and laced our fingers together and said, I realized I hadn't thought about Jake once in weeks until that night. The difference was night and day. 2 months later, Caleb took me ring shopping. Not to pick my own ring. He already had it. He wanted me to see the one he almost bought, the cheaper one, so I could understand why he waited and spent triple to get the exact one I deserved. It was a 2-carat oval diamond on a thin rose gold band with tiny diamonds down the sides. Simple, elegant, perfect. He said he'd been saving for it since the first weekend I visited him in Germany. My heart actually stopped when he told me that. We set the wedding date for next fall. Small venue in the mountains. 60 people max. Mia screamed when I asked her to be maid of honor. She immediately started a group chat titled Operation Make Lauren a Caldwell and added me, my sister, and both our moms. Jake's mom, Susan, asked if she could still host my bridal shower. I said, of course. She cried on the phone and said she'd been dreaming about this day for 6 years and she wasn't letting her idiot son ruin it for her. I laughed through tears and told her I loved her. The shower was perfect. Fairy lights, brunch food, mimosas. Susan gave a speech that had everyone crying. She said she watched me love her son with my whole heart for 6 years and that when he threw it away, she was devastated, but watching me with Caleb healed something in her. She said she was proud to still get to call me her daughter-in-law, just with a better son this time. The whole room lost it. Even Mia's boyfriend teared up. Jake sent a gift. A beautiful set of wine glasses with a card that just said, wishing you a lifetime of happiness. You deserve it. No signature. I knew it was from him because of the handwriting. The bachelorette weekend was in Nashville. Mia rented a huge Airbnb and flew 10 of us out. We wore cowboy hats, drank too much line, danced until 3 a.m. I woke up the next morning with a hangover and a text from Caleb that said, marry me tomorrow instead. I miss you. I sent him a selfie in the cowboy hat and he sent back the heart eyes emoji 10 times in a row. 2 weeks before the wedding, Jake texted me again. Can we meet for coffee? Just to talk. I promise no drama. I have something I need to say before you get married. I showed Caleb. He said it's your call, babe. Whatever you need. I love you enough to trust you. I met Jake at the same coffee shop where I first met Caleb. Full circle. Jake looked better, healthier, like he was finally sleeping again. He didn't try to win me back. Just said he was proud of the woman I became. That he went to therapy after the breakup and realized he had been emotionally lazy our entire relationship. That he took me for granted because I made everything easy. That seeing me happy with Caleb forced him to grow up. He apologized for the hot mic night, for every time he made me feel like I wasn't enough. He said he was dating someone new and it was serious this time. Because he was finally ready to be the kind of man she deserved. Not the boy I had been stuck with. Then he reached into his jacket and pulled out a small box. Inside was the promise ring he gave me on our 3rd anniversary. The one I gave back when I moved out. I want you to have this, he said. Not because I think there's a chance. Just so you know, I'm giving back every piece of the past I stole from you. You were never temporary, Lauren. You were just with the wrong guy. I took the ring, closed the box, and told him thank you. We hugged goodbye like old friends and I walked out feeling lighter than I had in years. I gave the ring to Mia, told her to melt it down and make something new. She turned it into a necklace for my something old. I wore it on my wedding day, tucked under my dress, right over my heart. The wedding was everything. Golden hour in the mountains. Wildflowers everywhere. Caleb in a navy suit that made his eyes look insane. I walked down the aisle to an acoustic version of the song we fell in love to in Germany. Mia cried through her entire maid of honor speech. Caleb's dad officiated and teared up when he said, "You may kiss the bride." Susan sat in the front row holding her. Husband's hand sobbing, happy tears whispering, "That's my girl," over and over. Jake didn't come. He sent a text that morning that just said, "I'll be thinking of you today. Be happy." We danced under string lights until midnight. Caleb whispered in my ear that he couldn't wait to spend the next 60 years making sure. I never doubted I was his endgame. I believed him with every cell in my body. We left for Hawaii the next morning. 2 weeks of beaches and sunsets and sex and breakfast in bed. On the last night we sat on the balcony watching the ocean, and I asked him if he ever worried we moved too fast. He laughed and said, "Babe, I waited my whole life for you. 8 months was torture." We came home tanned and stupidly happy. Adopted a golden retriever puppy the next month and named her Luna, because she was conceived under the Northern Lights energy or something cheesy like that. Mia moved in down the street with her boyfriend. Susan comes over every Sunday for dinner and calls Luna her grandpuppy. Sometimes I still think about that night at game night when my whole world fell apart. I used to think it was the worst night of my life. Now I know it was the night I finally started living the right one. Jake got engaged last month. Some sweet girl who looks at him like he hung the moon. I sent them a congratulations text and meant it. He replied, "Thank you," with a heart emojis. I smiled and put my phone down because Caleb was calling me to come grill dinner on our back porch. Under the fairy lights, he still refuses to take down. Life is good. Better than good. It's the kind of peace you only find after you've walked through fire and came out holding the hand of the person who was always meant to hold it.